There's another way to tune a guitar which involves tuning it to itself. And this way is more of a string matching way. If you're going to play with other instruments, it's a good idea to get the first note from one of the other instruments. Like if you have a piano in the room, you can say, okay, have the piano play a note, say the lowest note, say an E, and you can match your first note, and then you're going to match that note to all the other strings using certain frets. And that way you'll be in tune with the piano that's in the room that you're going to be playing along with, and you'll also be in tune with yourself. One of the easiest ways to match strings is to fret a note that matches a corresponding open string. So in this case, I'm going to slightly detune my guitar. And now I'm going to attempt to tune it using string matching. Let's just pretend that the first note I got from a piano player. So I know that this note is in tune with the piano note. So that note is the 6th string, and it's an E. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to count up to my 5th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to play this note right here. This note, just for information's sake, is an A. So what I need to do is match that note to the 5th string open. That's also an A. So this A and this A should match. Now if we listen, we have to use our ears a little bit here, we can tell that the second note is slightly lower than the first one. So I'm going to take the second note, which is the open string A, string 5, and I'm going to raise it a little bit. I'm actually going to switch hands here so that I can keep both notes playing at the same time. And you can almost hear when both notes sound the same. Now I'm going to move to the 5th string, 5th fret, same thing. So I'm going to actually move across to the 5th string, and I'm going to match this note, which is a D, to the open string D, which is your 4th string here. So the first note was the A. Make sure that's matched properly. Now I'm going to move over to the D. You can hear the second note is slightly flat. So I'm going to tune that one up. Now I have 3 strings that are basically in tune. Now I'm going to move across to the 5th fret of the next string, my D string, which is the 4th string, and I'm going to fret that on the 5th fret and match it to the next string, which is an open G. Okay, that sounds pretty close. So to recap, there we go. Now for the next string, instead of doing the 5th fret, I need to move down to the 4th fret. So this note is a B, and I need to match this note to the open string B, which is string number 2. So 4th fret, sounds pretty close. Now for the next note, we're going to match the open first string, which is the E. We move it back up to the 5th fret. And again, oftentimes it's easy to reach over and tune with your right hand so that you can keep the notes sustained as you tighten the strings. That way you can hear when they change pitch. There we go. You can almost hear a little vibration when the pitches are slightly off. So to recap, we start on the 6th string, 5th fret, and we match to the open string 5. So that's an A. Then we move across to the 5th string on the 5th fret, and we match to the open 4, which is the D. Then we move to the 5th string of the 4th fret, and we match to the open string 3, which is a G. Then we move down to the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and we match to the 2nd string B. And then we move back up to the 2nd string, 5th fret, and we match to the open string, which is the E, number 1. And then we should have a guitar that's relatively in tune. Keep in mind that some of these matching methods, you might have to tweak your instrument a little bit. It all depends on the intonation and how well you've matched. But for the most part, you should have an instrument that's in tune. Now, there are a couple different ways to get your starting note. Certainly, if there's a piano player in the room and you are going to be playing along with the piano player, then you should get your starting note from the piano player. It can be the first note, which is the E, or it can be any of the other notes, and you can just use the matching backwards, whichever note that you have. You can adjust accordingly. There are a couple other ways to get a starting note. A lot of tuners and metronomes often have a starting note. In this case, it's an A, and if we switch on here, we can hear, let's turn that up a little bit. It's actually giving me a pitch, and that is a pitch of A440, which is the tuning standard when you want to tune with another instrument and be in tune with other instruments. So I can actually match that note to a corresponding A on the guitar, which would be either here or here or here. So that's one way to get a starting note if you want to tune and be in tune with other instruments. Another way that you might do it is a good old-fashioned way, which is tuning fork. It's called a tuning fork. And this tuning fork, actually, when you make it vibrate, you can hit it against your knee very gently, and you place the end, say, on the bridge of your guitar, and then you can get a starting pitch of an A, like that. Certainly, if you don't have any access to any of the digital technology that we have available to us today, a tuning fork used to be a standard accessory in your guitar case back in the day. By far, I think the easiest way to tune a guitar is to get your hands on some kind of digital tuner, because it does the work for you. A lot of times there's a little digital readout with a needle that tells you, hey, you're playing that note, you need to tune it up a little bit. It's a little flat, you're playing it, it's too sharp, tune it back down. And it also tunes in tune to the standard A440. So a digital meter is the way to go. There's many makes and sizes. Actually, I have another one here. This one actually fits on your headstock, and if that attaches to the top of your headstock like this, and it works with the vibration of the guitar. Again, this is a, as you can see, and this one turns green when you hit the right note. So there are many makes, sizes, and brands of affordable guitar tuners that can help you to tune with the guitar in tune with itself and with another instrument in the standard 440